Oh no, the dog chewed my nightstand. Now what do I do? I mean, besides that, these were in rough shape. So even though they were chewed on, they were also just well worn. I feel like these have stories to tell. I don't know, but look at this. The dog was like, "Yeah, that looks like a place I should chew today." But wow, I don't even know how this even happens. I think it must be people taking water to bed. Anyway, the first thing I decide to do is put some feet on these. And the reason why I'm putting these little feet on there is I want to raise them up a little bit. They didn't have any feet on them at all. And I'm going to put these on my dollies to paint them and everything. And because of that, I don't want that wood actually sitting completely flush because it will then sink into the dolly fabric and you'll be able to see it. So now there's a little bit of a gap. It's hard to see there. Anyway, it raises it up just enough so that when I'm painting, I'm not painting the imprint of the fabric onto the leg of the nightstand. Anyway, now I need to get the hardware all off of here, and I'm labeling them A and B. So here's A2 because that's the middle drawer, but I put a little A on the inside of that nightstand, and then I'll put a B in the other one, of course. These are Broyhill, which I just discovered. I didn't know that until now because for some reason the maker's mark is in the bottom drawer. I wrote a B on that one, and so here we go with B on this side. And even though these aren't necessarily vintage, I have a feeling that the drawers need to just stay where they are. And so I'm going to keep them there. But these need a good cleaning. I don't know what they've been through, a bar fight or two or something, but I want to get them cleaned up. They felt a little sticky, so a good cleaning. I got out my scrubber to get these scrubbed down really well and sprayed them with a degreaser first. And then I've got a damp, barely damp microfiber towel that I'm just wiping everything down with. I don't want these to stay wet for very long because there's already so much of the finish on top that's failed. And so this is right down to raw wood. But scrub everything down, wipe it back. And I do this just to remove all the grime and dust and buildup because I have a feeling this is going to really just block up my sandpaper. It just gunks up the sandpaper. And I'm starting with 120. I'm using Serious Grit sandpaper now on my surf prep. I love it. I don't always love the surf prep sandpaper, and I love Serious Grit. So they finally came out with sandpaper for the surf prep. I'm so excited. But the first thing I've got to do is strip the top of these. It's not my intention to stain these because these are custom for a client, but I have to remove all that finish because it is just a mess. And it's very blotchy, and when finish is failing, it becomes really rough and bumpy, and there's just no way to smooth it down. You see, I had to change my sandpaper because it is gunking up whatever's on the top of that. I had to do it several times, and I'm picking chunks out of my sandpaper. Now, the rest of this does not have that failing finish, so I'm really just going to be scuff sanding, removing dents and dings, and just going over the rest of the entire piece. These are finished on all four sides. Even though these are most likely going to just go up against the wall, I'm going to go ahead and finish them on all four sides. It would look strange to have the back is orange. Now, normally it's backer board back there, and I don't care. It's like, okay, that's going against the wall. But when they're finished on the back already, I go ahead and finish them. I switched to the interface pad so that I could get all these rounded areas and get those all scuff sanded. It's funny that one set of drawers almost completely stripped off so easily and the other ones didn't with the same sandpaper. And the finish is just weird on these. All right, I got them all cleaned up. Time for some Bondo. Now, of course, I've got to fix the area that the puppy chewed on. And I'm going to do that with Bondo. So I added some cream hardener to my Bondo. I'm putting some painter's tape here just to act as a barrier so that I don't glop it everywhere, and it's going to kind of hold it here. Bondo does not stick to tape. So I'm just framing it out with the tape. And then I'm going to put a bunch of Bondo. I expect to have to do this several times. Usually I have to build it up. This actually isn't into the wood very far, thank goodness. So it's probably not even a quarter of an inch deep. So I really am not having to put, but I'm also now putting Bondo in all of the knots. These are knotty. They're pine, and so there's a lot of knots everywhere. I'll show you later why I do that with all of the knots. And I found a board underneath that's really lopsided. I think it's on there straight, but the cut was probably not quite straight, and so it's high on one side, and it's keeping this drawer from going in properly. I want to make sure that that's not rubbing because it'll rub off my paint. All right, the Bondo is now dry, so I took the tape off, and it's nice and smooth underneath, but I need to get the front side of it all smoothed off. And I've got a curve that I'm dealing with here, so I can't take off too much of it until I get the drawer in there so I can get that curve right. Okay, time to put the drawer in and test my curve. It's nice to have the drawer as a guide so that I can really get this straight because the drawers and that piece right there are flush to each other. All right, now I sanded back all those areas and you can see Bondo in all of those. You probably don't notice them when they're stained, but when you go to paint, all of those knots are just gaping wide holes. They were everywhere, but that is the repair. Look at that. You'll never even know when that's painted. Okay, time for cleaning number 3. These have been cleaned and cleaned and cleaned. Time to set up my spray tent. I'm going marathon painting. There's going to be a bunch of stuff in my tent, so these are going to sit over here in the corner. And the tops of these you'll see that like oily stain on the top. I couldn't get it out. So I've got to seal it in, and I'm going to do that with this Cover Stain oil-based primer. And that's going to seal everything in. And yes, I can put my water-based paint on top of it because that's where I'm going. Evolution Bold Black. I'm just getting my paint ready. That's my little touch-up kit. Add some water to it, thin it out, it's ready to go. But first, we have to do the regular primer. So I did the oil-based primer to seal everything in. I also want to seal the knots because even though I'm doing black, if those bleed through, it changes the pigment. So I just wanted everything sealed in. Okay, and then with a regular sticks primer, getting the back done. I usually let sticks dry for a couple of hours and then go back in with my sanding. And I'm using a sponge that is, well, it started out as a 400 grit, and I've been using the same sponge for a couple of years. It's probably 600 at least. Here we go with the paint color. Bold Black. This is a very black. And even though this is an all-in-one paint, I'm doing all the layers. I want these to be super durable. And I'm overlapping my passes on the sprayer to get a nice even finish. Okay, in between coats, I do go in and touch up the tops and sides of the drawers. That's the part that the sprayer doesn't touch, so I want to make sure that that is all nice and even in there. And we're in between coats, so another good sanding everywhere. I did the entire piece, wiped everything down, and now we're second coat of paint. You don't sand this coat because I'm going top coat next. Well, here we are with top coat. I love to spray top coat, especially on black. It's so difficult to get a perfect finish in black when you're brushing, but spraying is amazing. All right, everything dried, and this is the next day, putting on some hardware, but my screws are too long. So it was just spinning around. I've got a whole little bin full of washers. They're sort of random washers off of everything. I have purchased so many boxes of washers, and they just all get in this bin. And then anytime I take anything off that has a washer, it goes in that bin. So I'm applying a washer, and then now it's nice and tight. So every screw is going to get a washer. Let's take a look back at where we started, and this is where we are now. What a huge improvement. These are a custom piece. They are to coordinate with a long black dresser that I did for a client, and I think they turned out beautiful. You'd never know that these were a doggy chew toy. I hope you like them, and be sure to follow for more.